What's the deal? I'm Zade,
I'm BTZ,
and this is Jegna Talk for Youth by Youth on Jegna Fest Worldwide Radio.
the number one teen show in the Midwest, broadcasting on 152 radio stations globally.
And today we are here with
Harrel Johnson.
I asked before we get started, can you please share your socials and where listeners can connect with you?
Thank you. Social. You can look me up on Facebook under either Coach Johnson Realty or Harrel Johnson.
Alright, so first question I'm going to ask you is, if your players or kids had to describe Coach Johnson in 3 words, what you think they'd say?
I've heard a couple kids say I was a fireball. I was tough, resilient.
What's one thing about you that people would never guess just by looking at you?
Just those 3 words. They wouldn't. They would probably underestimate me for my size. And I know this is a question that's going to come later, but I was a Nike rep. And so at most of the guys at the Nike rep, a coach, they were like 6'5", 6'6". And when I first got it, they were looking for me. And, they all in the clouds, and they got to look down and say, oh, they had heard a lot about me, but they didn't know me. And they had to look down, I'm 5'6". Harrel Johnson. So I think people underestimate me because of my size sometimes.
You was 5'6", playing against people that was like 6'5", 6'6".
Coaching. It was more coaching. I got recognized as a coach.
Oh, and you was just small. Your players was...
My players are always big, but they didn't seem big. When you've been around kids all the time. For me, they were just normal-sized folk, having 7-foot people around, but other people be looking at them like they were giraffes or something.
If you could go back and watch one basketball game in history, courtside, which game would it be and why?
I would have a couple of them in there. One of them was, and I went to it, and that was the Raytown South versus Central game. When Tyronn Lue was playing, he became a pro, and Central won that game. And so, yeah, that would be a great game to go back and watch, as well as some of the championship games that I participated in and coached.
Mm-hmm. Before we talk about your accomplishments, who is Harrel Johnson at his core?
Harrel Johnson at his core is a guy that's a good friend, reasonably intelligent, always wants the best, whether it's out of initially out of myself, and then when I'm coaching, just somebody that wants to contribute to help somebody else, and always be on top of stuff. So, never get caught sleeping.
Catch your drift. You've lived a life of service in many different ways. What values guide the way you live every day?
So I'm a Christian fundamentally, and so I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, and that's my core. And I thank my grandmother for introducing me to Christ and introducing me to love. And so I believe most people are good people. But everybody hasn't been shown love in the same way. So that's my core.
Where were you born and raised, and what was your neighborhood like growing up?
I was born in Kansas City. Most people would say the neighborhood or the hood, but my mother always said the hood was outside our home. So my mother kept a very neat home. And we had to keep our rooms neat and stuff like that. And I got introduced to business early. My mother had a daycare business when I was 5 years old. So we worked in the daycare every day after we got out of school. So I learned some core values about the importance of working, the importance of interacting with others, the importance of interacting with young people.
Tell us about your grandparents. No, tell us about your parents and grandparents. What lessons from them still shape who you are today?
My parents, real fundamental people, core, believe in family, strong family values. We did a lot of family reunions. My dad would always have us go back to Texas. That's where the native roots were. There, we always introduced to love. We was like my aunts were like the people in The Help. I don't know if you ever saw that movie where they always loved on you, showered on you, and definitely fed you. So it was just a beautiful relationship. My grandmother, she just poured into us. She was always there for us, whether it was the trips or whether it was just buying stuff for us and spoiling us, but always very supportive. And so we had good nurturing coming up because of that.
Where were you competitive growing up with siblings? Were you competitive growing up with siblings or friends? Who usually won those competitions?
I had a very so we were kind of like stair steppers. I don't know if y'all know what that means, but a lot of kids back in those days. I'm born in the '60s. Was born back to back, so it's 14 months difference between my sister, myself, and my brother. And so I'm kind of in the middle. And so I had a sister, and she matured faster than me. So she was more competitive. I mean, she could dance, and I had to compete with that. So I became a great dancer. And y'all look at each other, but I bet I can cut the rug better than y'all. And then my brother, we had we always played together. We grew up together. We did everything together. And we always loved to win. My dad would play with us when we were younger, and even up through high school. So it was always pretty competitive. We played, y'all got all these video things, and we had board games, card games, so we were pretty competitive within the family to play to win. So yeah, winning was always top of my tradition.
What is one lesson from your childhood that helped shape the man you are today?
I would say understanding family and the role of family and the importance of family. And so I was always around the core family and then extended family, so meaning cousins, aunts, uncles. And so, and in that, there was a lot of care. So as an individual, when I grew up and became a man, I knew how to give that back to my own family and also how to pour in and share with my extended family, whether it be my aunts, uncles, or my community.
When you were young, what did you dream about becoming before basketball and business entered the picture?
So I read this book about John F. Kennedy when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and they said he was smart. So I wanted to be smart. So the reason why John F. Kennedy was smart in this book, they said because he asked a lot of questions. So wherever I would go, and my grandmother would take us on train trips. I mean, that's not even heard of today. But we would go on train trips, and I would go sit with older folks, a lot of times older white folks, and I would listen to them, talk to them, because those train rides were long. Going from here to Texas would take almost 15 hours for a normal trip, about 10 or 11. And so I would ask questions, and I always wanted to learn about people. And so that was important to me, trying to be as smart as I could.
You graduated near the top of your class at Lincoln College Preparatory Academy. What was school like for you during those years?
Go Tigers. So school was, so I played a little basketball just my freshman year, but for the most part, I was just a small guy, and so I didn't play any sports after my freshman year, but I was in engineering club. I participated with some advanced classes. Back then, you guys may not be aware of it, was a lot of busing going on, a lot of teacher strikes. And so I went from going from Lincoln Middle to Southwest for a couple years. Operation Push came in at Central. They were going to move me to another school. I went to Central my junior year, and then I graduated at Lincoln high preparatory academy my senior year. So we were the first graduating class from 1979 from Lincoln College Prep.
When did basketball become a serious part in your life?
It was always important. My dad started a program when my brother and I didn't go out for the high school team, so then he started a community program called, it was the Key Coalition back then. And so prior to that, we would always play in the backyard. We played whenever we could. We played so much pickup. We don't see kids doing that now. We used to play at the park. We played in the backyard. We had a dust bowl. We would have to put water in the back to stop it from dusting because we played so much it became powder. And so we played anytime we got a chance. So it's always been important to us. Matter of fact, we used to play when it got cold with socks on our hands in a hard frozen tundra ball. So I've always loved the sport. My dad played it in high school, and then it was just important enough once we started the program, or he started the program, I became a second generation to continue it.
Who first encouraged you or inspired you to pursue basketball?
I would say my dad. My dad has the same name as me, or I have the same name as him since he's the oldest. He's still living too. He's 91 years old, but his name is a little different, middle initial, but he's always been a big part of basketball in our family, and always, that's the most favorite game, I would say.
Is your mom still alive?
My mother just passed in 88, so she lived at 88 years old. So just last year that I lost my mother, but had her for a long time. Beautiful woman, beautiful heart, beautiful soul.
Growing up, who was your favorite basketball player to watch?
When I was growing up, I used to like Earl the Pearl, Walt Frazier, those guys, Lou Alcindor, who became Kareem. All these guys that y'all don't know. But I'm a Magic Johnson fan from the 80s. Kareem played with that team. I'm not. I'm a LeBron fan now. So.
Like some ball.
You look at the duration of his life. Look at how he gives back to community. He's been not only a tremendous player, but also a tremendous giver.
Fun fact, my papa played with Lou Frazier.
With who? Walt Frazier?
Lou Frazier. What's Kareem's old name?
Oh, Lou Alcindor.
Lou Alcindor.
Yeah.
He played with him at a rec.
Oh, cool, yeah. Yeah, no, he had a jump hook. It was just perfected. Nobody seemed like they ever blocked that shot.
In your opinion, who is the GOAT in men's basketball and who is the GOAT in women's basketball, and why?
Who is the GOAT in men's basketball today that I would say?
Yeah.
I don't like all that stuff because to me it's eras. But if I had to go just based on longevity, I would say LeBron. If you go on accomplishments, just championships, you have to say Michael Jordan.
Give me 5 in every category. Like give me a 1, 2, 3,
3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Oh man, I never really had to answer that question. I would give LeBron and Michael the 1. So then the next person would be a 3. So I would give that to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I had to give a 4 to Oscar Robertson. Somebody else y'all don't know.
Nah, I know Oscar Robertson.
And then a 5, that's a tough one.
Might as well just say Curry.
I might as well say Curry because although I like Kobe a little, I didn't like him a lot.
What?
What would be your starting 5?
What would be a starting 5?
Out of everybody.
Oh, man, y'all asking the tough questions. So NBA, I would you definitely want a Curry type on your team, but you want, you got to go with LeBron, you got to go with Mike. I might throw Pippen on there, and I'll still go with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
Nice.
or Magic Johnson.
After high school, you attended Lincoln University and later the University of Missouri, Kansas. What lesson did college life teach you?
So college life was good. I got a scholarship, academic scholarship. I was like ninth in my class in high school, and I got a scholarship to attend Lincoln University. So I attended that for a year. I was going to do computer science. They really didn't have it all well defined, the computer science department. So then I decided, what can I go into? So when I transferred back home, I went to UMKC, University of Missouri, Kansas City. And since they didn't have a true program, like computers is real important now, but they didn't really have computer languages that you could get a 4-year degree when I was going to school. So it's like, that just happened in the last 20 years, 30 years. So I went and became an accountant. So I got a Bachelor of Science in Accounting. And I had a minor in computer science. So as far as college life, I also joined a frat. So I'm a member of the Alpha Phi Alpha. So that was a social organization. And, while we did a lot of parties, had a lot of fun, we also got involved with some social events outside of that, political events and community events.
All right, so what y'all do at these parties? What y'all be dancing and stuff?
Man, we be kicking it. Ain't no dancing, we kicking it. Yeah, it was up, next level. It was just next level from high school. And, you had all the different Greek organizations there, different individuals there. And it was just fun. We just knew how to have fun. And, dancing was definitely a part of it. Step shows was a part of it. And, we just enjoyed school. It wasn't really a lot of drama. Like, we didn't have to worry about fights and stuff like that, because most stuff was pretty just kind of open. Everybody knew each other. And just a good time. We had a good time. I mean, it was just fun.
You also served in the United States Air Force Reserves. What motivated you to join the military?
So it was one thing about college life. I was kind of broke, so I wanted to make sure I had some money in my pocket. And so joining the reserves, it paid about a couple $100 a month while I was going to school. And that would kind of pay for, my gas, put it in the car, pay for me something to eat. And so I joined because of that, but also because of the opportunity experience. And so being a part of the Air Force Reserves, I had military training just like the regular full-time guys. So I had to go to, to the base training, and then I got to go to my specialty training. And so that was all done in Texas. And then I did 6 years at what they call Richards Gabor, which is now closed, out in Belton, Missouri.
What did serving as an air cargo specialist teach you about discipline and leadership?
So I rose to a staff sergeant while I was there. So we were basically responsible for loading and offloading planes. And we would do that, especially on our 2-week tour when we go to different places. I got to go to Japan. I got to go to Hawaii. I got to go to San Francisco. So different bases around the country I got to have experience at. And then I worked there as an air cargo person. I also was bringing up the IRM for the service at the time. And so I was the non-commissioned officer in charge of redoing the manual for training for those Air Force reservists.
What is one leadership lesson from the military that every young person should learn early in life?
I think it's just a discipline, that they teach you, whether it be time. A lot of times you have to hurry up and always be on time. And you had to be orderly. Your uniform had to be right. You had to have respect for the senior level officers. So it just was a lot of discipline. And respectfully, I learned that at home because I had a dad at home, and he was pretty much a sergeant himself, so he wasn't taking a whole lot. So, it was already kind of instilled in me, the discipline part, and then it was just a carryover. And so I would say it's a good custom to have because you have respect in all areas of that military career life.
Looking back, how did those early life experiences prepare you for your future career?
So when you talk about working a career as an IRS agent at a time when they wasn't hiring a lot of professionals, African American professionals, to be revenue agents, we actually go out and do the audits at these businesses, and most of the businesses we did were predominantly white-owned businesses. So you had the background I had, the discipline I had, the work ethic I had. When sometimes even my cohorts or my other co-employees were white too, you couldn't always go to them for questions. So you had to really kind of hone in and be understandable about what your role was. So I did a lot of studying. I would study the manual, which tells you how to do your job, and just was disciplined to be timely whenever it was time to do work.
You spent more than 3 decades working as a internal revenue agent with the Internal Revenue Service. What was that experience like?
I would tell you right now, 90% of the people that knew me, when I was doing the Keys program at the same time, so the Keys program was an evening program and I volunteered, wouldn't know where I worked at. They thought I worked for the Kansas City Keys. And it was because I didn't ever take my work home, even though I worked there that long. And so part of that was the confidentiality. I couldn't tell you who I audited, whether there was some billionaire, whether there was some sports figure, whether there was some high-level coach at one of these big schools. But the other side of it was a separation. I kept work at work, and I kept home at home, and so that was a blessing. But I could tell you this, too. I never thought I was going to work there that long when I got hired. But as I got older and got closer, and I knew I was going to get a pension at the end of the day, they were still going to pay me when I retired, I stuck around.
After retiring, you became an enrolled agent practicing tax law. What inspired you to continue helping people financially?
That's a good question. As an enrolled agent, I basically reverse roles. Now I'm on the other side. I'm helping people that's getting audited where they might be nervous, they might not understand the tax law that well, and then I'm charging them on a reasonable rate to represent them. And so I helped a lot of folks do that representation work, so it would kind of ease their pain of an audit.
You've also been a real estate investor for over 40 years and later became a licensed broker. What first sparked your interest in real estate?
I love real estate for a lot of different reasons. One of my main reasons is I get to see a product the way that it is, and then I can reshape it, put my ideas in it, and try to make it better. So I love rehabbing properties. My first one was my own house, in which I lived in, and I was still in college when I got this house, and I started working on the house as a college guy. And so when I got out of college, I had a house I could live in. And it's always been an inspiration to me because most of the people that's highly successful, uh, most of them have own real estate or they're involved with real estate in some form or fashion.
Through Coach Johnson Realty, you've worked on major development and property projects. What has been one of your proudest accomplishments?
So I've done multifamilies, which is like sixplexes. Sixplex is like a sixplex apartment. And so the last one I did, which was probably finished last year, was one of the better projects. It got recognized by the people from the city of Kansas City for the work that we had done to it. It reestablished the whole thing. We had, I like the new paint, the new carpet, the new appliances, the granite countertops, the ceramic tile. I like having ideas on where to put the paint, the types of windows, managing the crew that does the work. So it's a lot of different parts to it, but for me, it's very interesting. And I see a product that looks like, an old dinosaur, and I rebuild it into something that's brand new.
If a young person wants to build generational wealth, what is the first financial lesson they should learn?
The first financial lesson they should learn is that key word is discipline. So basically, if you're starting to make money, and whether it be a part-time job, full-time job, you should always find a way to save some of your money. I learned that at an early age, and when my parents would pay me, my siblings would go out and spend their money as soon as they got it, and I would save my money, and so I would have some at the end of the day, and that's the same thing. A young person should learn how to save. SAVE. That's the first thing. Don't spend all your money. Don't buy all the newest things that come out. I'm not saying don't go out and buy some things, but don't make that the priority, because the consumer items that you buy won't last long. Your shoes, new clothes, those things don't last long. But owning something like a real estate can last a whole generation.
If a young person wants to build generational wealth, what is the first one question. Sorry.
You good.
Your father founded the Key Coalition. What is behind that? When was it renamed KC Keys in 1989? And you began to lead that president. What was your focus?
So, yeah, my dad, we had lived off of 29th and Wabash, and it was kids in the neighborhood. My dad used to play with the kids in the neighborhood, and one of them suggested that we play, that he have his own team. So from that, he was encouraged to do it, and then my brother and I, we didn't go out for the high school team. So because of that, he started a neighborhood organization team out of the Key Coalition. And then some years later, we wanted to be a little more formal, so we became the Kansas City Keys. And that was possibly around 1989. And at that time, I became the president and sort of program director.
That's real. What inspired you to dedicate so much of your life to mentoring young athletes?
I just loved it. When you can find something that you're passionate about in your life, you can, it doesn't even seem like work. It just seems like it's a part of you. And so coaching was just a part of me and encouraging young people. And so because it was like I'm the second generation, it just seemed like it was natural that I do it. And because it was natural to me, it was not as hard. And so my challenge was to just make it better. And so that's why I kind of was inspired to do so.
Over the years, you coached and monitored hundreds of youth. What is the most rewarding moment you experienced?
I had several, but one of the things that we're working with youth, we would work with them when they're, 4 and 5, 6 years old, and then they graduate from high school, they go on to college, and then you see them one day with their family. I mean, that's just a whole circle of life. And so I've been inspired, and it's kind of funny, I started coaching, and some of these guys I coach, they grandfathers themselves now. So it's the whole circle of life. It's just not the basketball side of it that I would say, and them being strong young men and women, and now they're contributing back to society. And so that's been, a blessing to see that whole circle come to fruition.
You even served as a regional representative. Bro, Siri, bro. My fault. Hold on. Whoa. Say it again.
Representative.
See, bro, why is Siri answering? Bro, representative. Alright, so you even served as a regional representative for Nike. How did that opportunity come about?
It only comes about if you got winners and if they got potential pros. So I can't remember, was it 2000 team, 99 team? They won the national AAU tournament. So by the time they be turns 15, 16, they're closer to college age. And so we were the better program in the region. And so Nike came to town, and they looked for a program that, would have their label, have it well named in terms of the respect and how you carry yourself. And I think we met all the checkpoints. And so I got to be the director and try to get the best team I could to go play on the Nike, what they call the circuit, where you play in different tournaments around the country.
What is the most important lesson sports can teach a young person about life?
I believe that if you believe, you can achieve, right? So we had a saying, if it's to be, it's up to me. I'm the future. I am the key. So you have to stay in there. You have to stay in the fight. You have to come to practice. You have to keep yourself focused on what you're trying to accomplish, whether it be education or sports. But in this case, if it's sports, hey, you can't be missing practices and expect to be a better player. Practice is where you learn the fundamental side of the game and really hone your skill. The game is the opportunity to just showcase that, and then, to go back to the practice site and then work on where your flaws are. But you can't always work on your flaws in the game because it's 5 of you. So you got to sacrifice sometimes your own personal game for the benefit of the team. So overall, you have to discipline yourself if this is something you want to do and be consistent at it.
Many people admire how you've worked alongside your children in business and community work. What has that experience meant to you as a father?
Just a blessing to be able to work with your children in anything. A lot of times your children, one generation to the next, they want to do something totally different. So with the Keys program, volunteer program, they have the love of community. My children, all 3 of them, I have 3 children, great children, and they all love people. They're people, and they all love working with the children, coaching. My son right now is a coach at Hogan College Prep, DeAndre Pierre, and then my daughter had coached at Winnetonka with the girls. My other son, he's a trainer, Dominique Johnson. And so they just love pointing to others and making them the best kids they can be. And as far as working with me, My daughter has worked with me in my real estate business, and that's been a blessing too, being able to, work together and then making money together, so you're not just doing it just because love, we're doing it for some financial opportunity as well.
What values are most important for you to pass down to your children?
Uh, Respect, treating people right, family, uh, God first, put God in everything that you do. Understand that all these things that we see, sometimes they're not always physical. Some things are spiritual, and but we need to pray about things that we don't understand and ask for understanding. So all these things put together are good family.
When your family reflects on your life, what do you hope they say about the way you led them?
That their daddy cared about them, or their son cared about them, or their community said I cared at the end of the day, and that I was a giving person, and I loved on people, and I didn't expect much back, but I just pray that that's their ultimate understanding, and it's and that love is the center of all of it.
Looking back on your journey, military service, coaching, business, and community leadership, what are you most proud of?
I say in all of that, I try to always do the right thing. I encourage others to do the right thing. In this life, in this journey of life, people are going to come at you different ways. If you ever want to do something that's not right, do it by yourself. But if you're trying to do it and to be a showcase, and you're trying to be representing, then you should do the right thing all the time. Now, I can't say that my walk has always been such a straight line, a perfect person, but when I do go wrong, I ask forgiveness from others if I've done them wrong, or if I have, did something that, since I am biblical and understanding what Christ is asking of us, ask forgiveness from my sin. So don't ever be too proud in this life where you can't then go back, because you can lose relationships like that. You can lose opportunities. And so I would say humble yourself to be able to ask people for forgiveness when you've done them wrong. And then just always, to the best of your ability, do the right thing. We don't have any excuses. Stop making excuses for not trying to do the right thing. Do the right thing, period. Don't let other folks that are not doing the right thing influence you to do something that you shouldn't. So in love and caring and respect for the people that were before me, which are my parents, my grandparents, I'm going to always try to do the right thing.
When people in Kansas City talk about Harrel Johnson 30 or 40 years from now, how do you hope they remember your impact?
That'll be kind of interesting if that's even a thing. Will somebody be talking about me 30, 40 years from now? One thing I can say is I haven't coached in a while, but when I go outside my doors, it's the blessed part of I have impacted somebody's life somewhere, somehow, because people see me, they call me coach, and with coach, that's a lot of respect because they know that you've done something for them, or you've helped them along the way, or were there for them, and so and that doesn't mean money or anything like that. That's just genuineness of that respect. So if people talk about me like that 30, 40 from years now, that'll be blessed that somebody would say, hey, that guy was a great guy, and we should institute some of the things he was trying to get done.
All right, that's our time today with
Coach Harrel Johnson.
We appreciate and thank you for sharing with us.
Before we go, once again, can you please share your socials and where listeners can connect with you?
Social. There you go again. All right. Facebook. Look up Harrel Johnson, Coach Johnson Realty, and I believe we have something on Casey Keys. So we also have a gala coming up, which is October 10th, and that's going to be caseykeys.org.
That's our time today with
Coach Harrel Johnson.
We appreciate and thank you for sharing with us.
Before we go, once again, can you please share your socials and where listeners can connect with you?
Yes, it is under Harrel Johnson or Coach Johnson Realty. And you can also look us up at caseykeys.org. We're going to have our 50th annual gala, Negro League Baseball Museum, October 10th of this year.
I'm Zade.
I'm BTZ.
And this has been Jegna Talk for you by youth on Jegna Fest Worldwide Radio.
The #1 teen show in the Midwest, broadcast on 152 stations globally.
We out here.
Link on the beat.